PriestMe.
Okay, PriestMe. What is the Eucharist?
The word Eucharist means Thanksgiving, but I think you want to know more than that.
Yes, please.
So it's a service of Holy Eucharist or Holy Communion is what's the prayer book calls the principal service of the Lord's Day. It's every Sunday. It's supposed to be our primary act of worship. You need a priest to do it, which is to say, you need someone that the community has identified as someone who can speak God's blessing for the whole church. There's two real sections. The first one is we sort of open with some prayers. It's a liturgy of the word. You open with some prayers and you read the Bible, including a reading from the gospel. That's required according to the prayer book in every communion service, every Holy Eucharist. So you have to have readings from the Bible. Mm-hmm. And then you also have to pray for the world. That's usually set up as a response to the readings from the Bible. So you have readings from the Bible, and then the sermon is a response to that, and so are our prayers. Then there's this sort of transition piece that we call the peace. Mm-hmm. That goes back to way early church stuff. For the Catholics, they might have heard Kiss of Peace, which is actually more historical. Originally, in the early church times, no one knew what a handshake was. Like, they didn't do that. It was just like they were French or something. So they would kiss each other. And then that, at this time in the middle when they would greet each other. Now we usually just shake hands or...
throw up the peace sign.
Or, yes, or piously mumble, depending on how... or hug, depending on how comfortable somebody is with, like, the touch thing. And then there's the liturgy of the table. And in that time, the priest will say prayers over the bread and wine. There's still it's a thing that's shared by the whole community that's there. Mm-hmm. There's actually something that's different in the Episcopal Church than in the Roman Catholic Church. In the Episcopal Church, I can't do communion on my own. There needs to be at least one other person there for us to do it. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that you have both clergy and lay people always.
Okay.
What exactly happens in Holy Eucharist is a mystery to us. We don't have like one teaching. We have like a realm. Mm-hmm. That's very Episcopalian.
Yes.
The hardcore Protestants would be like, it's just a memorial. Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me. Mm-hmm. The hardcore Roman Catholics would say, no, it's the body of Christ. He said, this is my body, right? We're fighting mm-hmm. over like two different clauses, right? And in the Episcopal Church, we hold either of those extremes and everything in the middle. Most Episcopalians, I think, hold a place somewhere in the middle, which is to say, Christ's presence is real and revealed in a special way through the communion, through the Holy Communion. Mm-hmm. We find communion with God and each other. That also in those moments we have a profound connection to all those who are connected to God. So when you take communion, that's a time in which you sort of invite yourself to be present with all those who've passed and rest in the love of God, right? Like, I think my mom and my dad and my like all of that is there mm-hmm. when we break the bread and we share it. And that is all a profound act of thanksgiving for this story of salvation, right? Which is why the word Eucharist is often used, which is just the Greek word for thanksgiving.
Okay.
So, yes, Episcopalians have Thanksgiving every week, at least once a week, whether you need it or not. So...
PriestMe.
Okay.
Or a recording. So yeah.
Okay. What is the Eucharist?
Okay, so the way we're gonna do this is like you gotta be okay, PriestMe.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. Okay. Jeez. Okay.